Hi there, welcome. It's Roger at SwiftCloud. In this very quick video, I just want to give you a sit back and relax, take in a quick overview of SwiftCloud and what it can do for you. Our goal is, if you're a service-based professional, to give you everything you need within one application, within one program. And that's a tall order. We've been working on this for years. So what we want to do is take away some of the hassles where you have 6 different programs and you're trying to glue them together, or you're copying and pasting, or the systems don't synchronize. Our goal is to run your entire business under one roof. Now, we can start typically with one area. So what we might want to do is start with just your file storage, or just your electronic docs, or just your CRM. And then what we do is we start canceling out other programs, and pretty soon you have your entire business running on this one platform. So that's our goal. Let's dive in. So what we want to do in this video, you just have to sit back and just kind of take it in and get an overall impression. We want to give you a quick overview. So this is the 30,000 feet up or 10,000 meter up view. So once you get logged into SwiftCloud, well, let me back up. So first thing you need to do is, of course, get logged into SwiftCloud. Go over here to SwiftCRM.com, click sign in. If you have any issues, make sure and just click this login troubles. Notice we do have one-click login. So once you get logged in, make sure and enable one-click login. I can show you how to do that later. It'll save you time. It'll save you hassle. It'll also prevent you from freaking out, because sometimes what happens is people sign up with email, and then later they click sign in with Gmail or Facebook or something like that. And what happens is, to us, that's treated as a different account. We may or may not reconcile the two accounts. So, well, then sometimes clients will get in there and they think it's blank and they think they've been hacked. It's actually just different accounts. So the best thing to do is secure your account, turn that on, which is trying to save you some hassle. Okay, let's dive in. Once you do get logged in, it's going to look something like this. This is our goal for this, is to make something like an events feed. Now this is continuing to evolve, and it works now. So notice I have different sections. So this is blocks of email. So this is email from a given account. And of course I can click on any of these, and then from that, I'm not going to dive too into it because I want to just give you an overview, but basically you can click on that and then create a task from it automatically. And that in turn can be really useful for things like help desk, for sales, stuff like that. You can respond with a template. So here on the left side, this is our main navigation, and this occurs throughout the entire application. So here we've got, soon you'll also have incoming phone calls, that type of thing. Like if somebody calls in, it'll show you up here, and then you can accept or decline the call. We do have outgoing phone calls working already. We're still working on incoming phone calls. So if you're interested in that, just let us know. Basically, you can also set your different sort of statuses here. So you also have your home page. That'll bring you to this feed. Notice I have an SMS here on this. I've got a voicemail as an example. I've got different events that have occurred. If somebody signs a doc, they pay an invoice, they bought a product, something like that, that type of information should be showing in here. We're continuing to refine this, so we're starting to put it all together, and then we're going to put some weighting on it to try and determine what's most important at the top. That's the idea. So for now, it's just kind of like all thrown on the page, but we are continuing to refine it and get it smarter and smarter over time. So that'll bring you from the home page, and then here you have something called filter views. What you can do is set up a criteria that says, show me all of the contacts that are tagged with, in this case, help desk. Or it could be, in your case, show me all contacts that are tagged with potential client, right? And then you go there and you create a criteria, and then people can come into that group, and they can leave that group at any time. So it's different than an actual group. What you're doing is saving the criteria, and that can be any different type of thing. So it could be calendar events, it could be files, it could be something like that. Here you have a search. Right now, search is just contacts. That's going to get changed to global search. Here you have your contacts. So you have different types of contacts. So this will bring you to a list of contacts. Of course, we have different groups, and you can import groups in from other systems. So like a CSV spreadsheet, typically that starts with Excel. So if you're migrating to our CRM, most of our clients have either been using some other CRM, in which case we want to get all that data out of it, or they have a mess of data, and that's okay. What we need to do is get that mess from different sources, get it all brought in together, all imported, and then merged and deduplicated. So we've done this before. We can help you with it. But typically, like if you haven't been using a CRM, you might have some data on your phone. You might have some of your data in different computer programs, and then you have to bring all of that into one place. And you have one system of truth once you're done, and that way you have one place to check for everything. So you do have tasks. Also within tasks, you can create custom pipelines. So that's typically used for sales. But it could be for anything. So if you have a repeatable process that you need to do all the time, then let's say you are in plumbing, right? So you've got, let's say, a garbage disposal install or a diagnostic or something as compared to a construction type of situation. Anyway, you can create different types of custom pipelines, and then that would also show here. We do have marketing systems. This is continuing to evolve over time. You have marketing experiments. That's typically like what you'd call a campaign/experiment. You have marketing assets. That might be, let's say, a social media piece or a blast email, something like that. Marketing sequences. You can create a sequence of messages. That's typically like an autoresponder or an appointment confirmation. So the system can either send out a stream of events. And I say stream of events because it's not just email. It could actually include an email and then on SMS on day 14, and then a phone call that it prompts you to make on day 21. You can do things like that. You can also do after and before method. So you could use like appointment time minus 1 hour, send an SMS, and minus 1 day, send an email. Says, hey, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's for appointment confirmation, right? And then 1 hour before you send them an SMS, say, here's where you park, that kind of thing. So you can do a lot of automation, and this is incredibly powerful, including for things like reviews, right? So once somebody comes into your office, then ideally you should be asking them for reviews and referrals. If they're happy and you want to kind of get a sense for how happy are they, and are they proud to do business with you? Hopefully the answer is yes. And if so, then you want to turn them into a marketing asset. So this whole system can help you do that. We do have, of course, a calendar system, and the calendar can be synced to your phone. So if you have an iPhone, you can use it to sync to iCal. If you have an Android, then it'll sync to your Google Calendar, right? And so events, that's bi-directional sync. And we do have a scheduler system that is still in beta. We're still working on that, but if you need that, just let us know. And you can create different schedulers, plural, if you need to, or just a scheduler for yourself, or even schedulers for assets. So if you have, let's say, boat rentals or boardrooms or snowmobiles or something like that, each boat could have its own scheduler, right? The boardroom could have its own scheduler. Different employees can have their own schedulers. Or if you have a dental office, you might want to set up a scheduler for the chair or for the office or something like that, and then you swap out the staff to go with that and make sure you have the coverage. We do have a basic accounting system, so we do own SwiftBooks. SwiftBooks is part of SwiftCloud, and it's a very basic system, so we don't have advanced accounting at this time. So if you have an existing accounting system, you probably want to continue to use that. But what we do have that's good is attributed accounting. So that's like project-based accounting. So let's say you're in real estate, for example, and you have some inspections and let's say a credit report and stuff like that that goes with a file. All of that information can be put in here. If you don't currently have an accounting system, then you're certainly welcome to use it. It's good. It's just really basic. It's not buggy. It works. It's very reliable. It's just very simple. So what we don't have is our like advanced reconciliation that some of these accounting specific programs are going to have more features and functionalities just because they're more mature. But over time and over really throughout 2022, that'll be continuing to improve. So here's where you get your settings. You also have change password. You can edit your profile. There's also another page specifically for financial settings. So there is a complete e-commerce system built into this. Now, if you are in the retail business and you have, let's say, 3,000 products, we do not recommend this platform. That said, if you were, let's say, a plumber and you have, let's say, 40 different sort of common inventory parts. You have, let's say, garbage disposals and stuff like that, and, you know, the collar and some little pipes that go with it and stuff like that. Like you have some inventory, or you even have service-based inventory where you have a flat rate for common things. So if you take, let's say you're in lawn care and you have a recurring billing product. So we do have a really powerful recurring billing system that can be used for, you know, yoga classes or boxing or lawn care or whatever, any kind of recurring service. So you can productize your services for all your most common things. And then what you could do is also create another product for hourly, just your hourly billing rate, and then maybe some additional parts, and you can assemble a whole invoice on the fly type of thing. So the invoices on the fly, that brings me to the main drive page. So on the left side, if you click on this main, sort of what looks like 3 dinner plates or 3 pancakes, that'll bring you to the main drive page. And up here at the top, notice on the top left, you've got search. Right up here, we've got add new. So you can also upload files if you wanted to upload some PDFs or something like that. If you upload a PDF, we will try and convert it for you to make it e-signable if you want. But if you just wanted to store PDFs, you certainly can do that. Anyway, you can create docs, spreadsheets, estimates or invoice, receipts, basically all the variations of a money transfer. Web forms, so if you do have a WordPress-based website, you could, or any other system, but it's really designed for, most commonly, it's WordPress. For web forms, so you can connect that to it, so if somebody, let's say, fills out a lead capture form, then that data flows into SwiftCloud automatically, and then let's say it kicks off an autoresponder automatically and even routes the lead and stuff like that, notifies people, that kind of thing. Folders/workrooms. So in SwiftCloud, folders don't have to be, but they can be social. Meaning, like, you can create a folder that something like this, and then decide to share it if you wanted to people. So it is important to note that SwiftCloud is a true social network. And when people do certain things that are social, like somebody else does something for me, for example, let's say e-signs a doc. When that happens, what we'll do is we'll create a new workroom, a shared folder between us, and then store the signed documents in it, and then share that with both of us. And that'll show in the contact. I'll show you that in a moment. So anytime somebody does something social, so they get an invoice, let's say you generate an invoice for them, we're going to create them as a user and then store that into their file for them and start to create that relationship and start these shared files between you two. So, and that could even be shared with multiple people. So the system is kind of a little bit maybe like Legos in that you can have multiple people or even companies attached to a workroom, and you can also have one person attached to multiple workrooms. So that's common in, let's say, real estate. You might have a husband and wife, for example, they're both part of a deal, and then they might be buying a property and selling a property. So you could even also create different custom assets within this system. And all custom assets are, to us, technically a type of workroom. And therefore, a custom asset can have sub things attached to it, right? You could have accounting and files and stuff like that attached to a custom asset. So the custom asset could be really whatever you're doing. It's typically a case, right? Or let's say you're an apartment. It could be a property that you rent out if you're a landlord. It could be something like that. Envelopes are a way to bundle together multiple docs. SKUs are items that you sell. Like I said, that could be productized services. Sequence of events. Sequence of events can include things like, basically like send out this email immediately, and then on, day 1, and then 4 hours later, and then 6 days later, and stuff like that. Scheduler, as I mentioned, you could have multiple different schedulers. Templates, that's really used for template. You can have a lot of different types of templates, including docs. One-click funnels, that'll actually generate a couple different pages. So we do have a whole landing page generator system that is really powerful and very simple. And it's really designed for you to just test headlines and do some basic marketing. So most of our clients are small businesses, and they need to be testing marketing ideas really quickly. And it has to be very easy and very quick because they're just understaffed almost all the time, right? They don't have these huge marketing teams. So what you want to do is create a really quick offer. Let's say it's a fall special and it's just, for this month. And so you jump in there and create a one-click funnel or something like that if you wanted to. We do have now phone numbers. So we have outgoing phones really working well. Now we're adding incoming. So we do have incoming messages, but incoming phone calls is still getting built out. But basically our goal is that all of your communication is within one place. So that brings me to the actual contact list. So here on the left side, if you just go to all contacts, you'll get to a page that looks like this. Here is an actual contact detail page. Now down in the bottom right, for now, we're kind of reworking this page. So as of the end of January, this will all be stabilized with the new version. This button needs to get centered, and this needs to get moved over here. Not a big deal. It's just cosmetic little issues because we're shuffling things around a little bit. But this is going to be open at all times. So what you have down here is different options to SMS, right? So I could SMS the client right from here, and it'll store into my history with this client. So I could also email, right? So right from here, I could just go to email, and I can choose which email to send from. I can load a template, and I just click that here, and it just right into there, and I just click send. I'm not going to do that because this is actually a real working, in this case, it's a real client. But you do have different communication methods. We even have a video chat. I'm I'm going to purposely not do that because it does work, and it's also, I'm using the webcam to record this demo, but there is a video chat. And so should you need it, you just want to talk to your client. So if you're doing things like telemedicine, or let's say you're plumbing diagnostics and you just want somebody to walk you around the kitchen and show you what's going on, then you can do that right from within the app. So we also have sequences. You can add or remove the sequence from there, and just click. I'm not going to do it because this is real, but basically all of your different sequences, you can just click and save them. You can add them. You can also go and remove them. So that's typically used for invoices or sequences like, let's say, pay your bill. So you can automatically remove somebody from an invoice reminder sequence because they've paid that bill, right? So that could be just an example of when you'd want to remove somebody. But once you click it, then it's going to show in this space. So anyway, you've got a lot of different communication, and of course, as I mentioned, just notes. In this case, this is just private notes to me. This client called about sex ed, education for high school or something like that. So something like that. Here we have tasks. Here on the left side, I don't have a custom pipeline set up, but you can. If you just click Add New, it's going to ask, okay, great, what kind of task is this, and what's the status? The status is basically custom to the type, and then you've got different levels of urgency and time and that kind of thing. You can just decide that. You can also decide to add a location, right? So in this case, let's say it was a plumbing service address, right? So 127, right? It'll start to auto-populate, right? And then you even have different views up here in the top right. So what we could do is, once we've created, if you were in, let's say, plumbing, and the address is going to matter, then you can actually go to a map view. And in this case, I have none of my tasks have a map view, so it's not going to really work. But it does exist. You can use that if that's important to you for things like real estate or on-premise work. These are different views of the same essential thing. So basically, you have different statuses, and basically none of these tasks, I have to choose which one I want. But if I go here and I just drag it to there, then all that does is update the status. So you get the idea. You can kind of play with these things off the phone, or I mean off this video. Marketing is pretty straightforward, but basically you can create blast emails, that kind of thing. Calendar is pretty straightforward. I can also get there from here. It's just same basic idea, and I can just create a new appointment as you'd kind of expect. We are working on the scheduler system. So here's the actual accounting system. It's just, I have some really basic data to just kind of show you what's going on. And again, that's mainly for attribution. Of note is the profile. So if you go here to your main settings page, just to draw your attention to it, you can decide right here in this public section right here, you can decide what's public about yourself and what's private, because SwiftCloud is a social network. So when you click this little plus here, it'll ask you, okay, great, well, who can see that information, right? So in this case, it's like I'm public about all of this information, but I might have certain information that I want to store for my account, because let's say it's a phone number that I want to use for tracking, but I don't want anybody to see it. Let's say it's my personal cell phone or something like that. I also want to draw your attention to about your business. This is kind of like where most of the heavy lifting is done, as it were, with regards to your business, including the branding, cosmetics. So you can set up the branding, and that's for the front end. You can also set up your language and location if that's applicable to you. Make sure and set your time zone, for example, and what currency you use, that kind of thing. You're accessing SwiftCloud. This is where you can enable the one-click login. And some of these other things are a little more advanced. And if you wanted to basically add some signals, some RSS feeds, for example, that might be a competitor, that could be topics you care about. That's the kind of thing you can do here. And what it'll do is it'll show on your homepage. Communication, that's where you can connect different emails and different phone numbers so that they are brought into SwiftCloud. If you need help about that, just let us know. And advanced, that's typically used for advanced. I would generally say if you don't know what that is, then don't wander in there. But basically what you can do is you can load industry sync. You can also sync between different company accounts, something like that, this type of thing. So that's kind of why that's there. And APIs is a little more advanced if you need to synchronize to other software. API bridge connections is how you connect to other software systems. So that concludes our tour. This has been really just a whirlwind tour. I know I've kind of given you a lot of information. In SwiftCloud, we really have a couple different key modules, right? So our goal is everything you need: contacts, cloud-based drive. Our eDocs platform is very mature. That's one of our strengths. Tasks, pipelines, and projects. That could be for sales pipelines. It can also be for things for fulfillment. We have a calendar and a scheduler, accounting and billing, marketing, communication. Our goal is everything you need. And if you need something else and you're in the service-based industry, then let us know. We do have other modules that are coming along. We have a system for inventory that's called Bean Counter, and it allows you to track any expendable, even things like PTO, paid time off, of your staff, for example, or inventory that you might have in your facility. So you could really use it to track anything, even things like abstract ideas like, let's say, cryptocurrency or something like that. It can really be used to just account for anything. If you've got some other need, then let us know. But generally speaking, this is, it's a groupware system, and it is designed to help you get where you need to go and designed to be your one system of truth. And we're excited that you're watching this video because it means you're either getting up to speed and onboarded, or thinking of working with us, in which case, then by all means, start a conversation. Let's dive in. Let's grow your business. Thanks.